Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Peace and blessing to the chosen.
It's a time for everything in the time right now. It's a time for everything in the time right now. It's the man be aware and make sure that you safeguard yourself and those that you love and you make proper preparation. As a man, it's our duty and responsibility to make sure that the people that we love are taken care of. It would be totally irresponsible of a real man. We ain't talking about boys, we talking about men. It'll be totally irresponsible for you to not put in safety measures to protect you and your family in case catastrophe hit on small, medium, or large scale. You know what I'm saying? So my point of saying this is that we know it's gonna happen. Get ready.
Go against the king and get slayed. Silence the chatter. Our progression connected like axles. Weapons ready for battle. Dry bones is out of their graves. Let the weak sound strong. We at war. Kill the fear. Let the cowards be brave. We fight for our lives. We fight for our wives and children. At the drop of a dime, be ready to move like pilgrims. Bug out bags and paracord. It's a difference between being prepared and being paranoid. Discipline, we need discipline. Without them Newport shorts, would you be fidgeting? Now imagine they was hunting us. They could track our trail through the smell in a cigarette butts. Get on your train and can you run a mile? Just cause you slim, that don't mean you fit. You out of breath, 4 flights of steps that'll make you quit. Babylon is falling, Armageddon, NATO, you in bricks. Wake up and smell the coffee. Multi-person coffins, I pray our flight don't be on the Sabbath nor in the winter. Can we endure and will starvation turn our fam against us? Don't know where to go or what to do. Father help us, all we got is you. We haven't heard your voice or saw your son or walk beside him. We just believing without seeing, hoping that you got us. These crosses we carry get heavy, please send us assignment. We want salvation, not the gold and diamonds.
We faced water.
All right, family. Shabbat Shalom. Peace and blessing to the chosen. Drop the 7 in the comments for me if the audio coming through clearly before we get started. May the Most High be glorified. May his word be fire and all the people be stubble. Got some stuff to talk about today. Indeed, 4 warnings. All praise to the Most High. Thank you for this, sis. So much going on around us, so much going on in us. And a lot of people got their heads buried in the sand. You know what I mean? Buried by means of being distracted. And the distraction come in so many forms. It come in the form of entertainment. You know what I mean? Want to have fun. It come in the form of not wanting to accept the facts of what's happening. Wanting to close your eyes to what's happening around you, thinking that that'll make everything well, and it won't. You know what I mean? The best way to deal with so many situations is to face it head on. So while people, you know, in an uproar about the Knicks winning or the World Cup taking place, and you know what I mean, celebrity gossip, a system is being built around us, enforced, it's being updated continuously. You know what I mean? With the end goal being that, man, we're going to enslave the whole planet. You know what I mean? So people not even knowing, like the words say, his people led his sheep to the slaughter. So people in petty arguments, people still dealing with pride and emotional, you know what I mean, thoughts about themselves and other people. Not knowing, man, it's a burning hammer that's filled with acid about to drop. Not preparing. All right, so what I want to do is talk about today is the beast system strategies, which is a lot of things that's happening, but today's target and focus will be on eliminating travel freedoms. All right, eliminating travel freedoms. So for fair use, every video that I will show today will be for educational purposes. Saying that to put it on wax for YouTube. Everything will be for educational purposes. All right, so on the aspect of or focusing on travel, a vehicle, a car, a bike, a motorcycle, a scooter even. Man, these things represent a form of freedom. How so? Because look, I can go when I want to. I can come when I want to. If I'm at a location, say, hey, we having a party or some kind of function, pay to come on, pull up on us. If I drive there and I see something I don't like, or if I get sick, or if it's an emergency with my family, guess what? I can get my own key, jump in my car and disappear and go handle my business. But what if I didn't have that freedom? What if my total dependence on being able to move around, be mobile and mobilized was dependent on the government? At that point, and in that case, family, when we at the mercy of the system, you got to remember the system is not for the Most High. It's not for his people. It's not for righteousness. So today's message, I want to show y'all some things that's happening, man, the beast system strategies, where saints and believers and just people all together should be paying attention to. So I'm going to open up here by sharing my screen. We're talking about a man named Klaus Schwab.
I hope I will have the pleasure still to be invited for. We meet for the 20th. I hope I will have the pleasure still to be invited for the meeting when we meet for the 20th Governance Summit. You will use the app like Uber, but not anymore to call some driver, but automatically guided car, a self-driven car, will come to your hotel or wherever you are and will bring you to the airport. No, Los Angeles is one of the cities with the heaviest traffic.
So this is Klaus Schwab. This is from the World Economic Forum. All right, so this is one of the leading figures where 193 countries come together and they focusing on a strategy to roll out and enforce for the whole world. All right, so now we're talking about Project 2030. This is one of those leading officials that's heading this endeavor, Klaus Schwab. And what did he say? He said, no longer would you be able to call and have to call some driver. You're going to have an automatically driven vehicle to come pick you up from your airport. From your hotel and take you to the airport. Listen to what he say. Because right after that, he say Los Angeles. This is where he at now. He say Los Angeles has basically one of the worst traffic situations where, traffic is bad because so many people. Listen to what he say.
Who told me in 2030 is one of the cities with the heaviest traffic, who told me in 2030 Los Angeles will be private car driven free. And this
private car driven free. Man, I really want to make that video bigger, but we're gonna deal with what we got. Private car driven free. That means, let me translate if you don't know what that means, family. You are a private driver when you have your own vehicle, whether you leasing it or not, because you control it, you paying a note on that car, or you got the pink slip for it. So it's gonna be private car driven free, meaning it ain't gonna be no more people driving these cars. It's gonna be automated.
Will allow to transform highways into parks and other public spheres.
All right. So what he's saying, He said, then that's gonna open up the floodgate for them to transform highways into parks. If that don't matter to you, you gotta understand, we jump on the highway to travel from whatever city we're in somewhere else, and we looking at the road signs. It's telling us how to get to these different locations. So now, if you remove a chunk of this highway on the path and you're looking at a map, you can lose your direction. You can get lost. You don't know how to get to the next state no more. Which is important, why we do need to go back to looking at these maps and atlases. But this is Klaus Schwab. Again, if you don't know, this dude is one of the head figures for the agreement between 193 countries that they all saying, yeah, we agree with him. Look at his accent. He ain't got no Americanized accent. Dude talk as a foreigner. So I'm saying that to say, why is he talking about Los Angeles? Why he ain't mentioning some of his own native country? He talking about Los Angeles in America, the U.S. Because this gonna be the seat and the model what they will use to enforce these same endeavors that they planned, these 17-point plan that they have. Yeah, man. Keep going. So keep that in mind. They want a society where you no longer have the freedom of driving a car. It's going to require AI to be driving you around. It's going to require robots to be driving you, picking you up, dropping you off, taking you where you need to go. Relinquishing our freedoms. And a lot of people going to clap at it. This is what Elon Musk was doing when he talking about the taxi cab that he got in the van. Convenience is one of the main reasons society going to be destroyed, man. And right now I'm saying it might seem far-fetched to people because they just can't believe it. Not my world. It can never happen in America. Well, guess what? So many people didn't think the world was going to shut down when COVID happened. Had everybody in the house. Don't come outside. They shut the whole world down, man. People didn't see that coming. This is another one of those cases, man. I'm trying to tell you, warn the people, put the warning out, you do what you want with the information. All right, so again, why is this important? Because if I can't drive myself around, look, I might be out and somebody need me. I can't just get in my car and come to the rescue of my daughters or my son, my family, you. I got to try to call somebody, put an app in and get a robot to come and get me. How long that's going to take? How long am I have to wait for that? Child might be having an asthma attack. You know what I mean? Somebody might be having a seizing. We need to get them to the hospital. I got to wait to call a robot. They might die in their time span, man. Show you something else. Why is there something that should alarm us? Waymo. Do you know anything about Waymo? Do you know anything about Waymo? This is a self-driving transportation service from Google. Look what happened.
Allegedly drinking alcohol and two 15-year-olds were allegedly drinking alcohol and firing a toy gun from a driverless Waymo vehicle, according to a statement the San Mateo police posted to their Facebook page. Police say the toy appears to be a splat R-ball water bead gun, which can pose a, quote, real danger, according to authorities. Upon observing the incident from cameras within the car, Waymo stopped the ride and reported the teens to the San Mateo police. In a statement shared with CNN, police say that though Waymo disabled the vehicle, they were not locked in the vehicle and were free to exit the vehicle at any point before police arrival. Waymo advised them the vehicle was having trouble and pulled over, but they chose to stay inside. According to the police, the teens were released to their parents as the investigation is underway and authorities wait to hear back from Waymo. Waymo rider rules state that the company's support team may review video under certain circumstances, including after an issue is brought to our attention. Occasionally, in more urgent circumstances, support may access live video during a trip. No charges have been filed at this time. CNN has reached out to Waymo about the incident.
So it was a lot.
Firing a toy gun from
Firing a toy gun. This don't matter to some people. There's a lot of people who sleep. They're going to stay asleep, and guess what? Sad to say, but the facts are they're going to die in their sleep, family. They're going to die in their sin. They're going to die in their foolishness and rejection of truth. All right, so look. Listen to this. Watch this.
The San Mateo police posted to their Facebook page.
Mind you, this is in California. You keep taking my audio off. Go ahead. Let me see. Hold up.
Flat R-ball water bead gun, which can pose a, quote, real danger, according to authorities. Upon observing the incident from cameras within the car,
cameras within the car. Upon observing the incident from cameras within the car, there's going to be in another segment of this video, of this message, this warning, cameras in the car, this self-driving vehicle. The camera, the AI, look in and see these people. It's supposed to be privacy in this car now. Well, it has some kind of privacy now. But the thing about it, we're not talking about cameras that's viewing outward. We're talking in the cabin. It's watching you. Listen to this.
To the San Mateo police. In a statement shared with CNN, police say that though Waymo disabled the vehicle,
Waymo disabled the vehicle, family. Let's look, watch this. The Waymo disabled the vehicle. They were not locked in the vehicle to mount these two 15-year-olds. It says, and were free to exit the vehicle at any point before police arrival. Why? The next sentence say, Waymo advised them the vehicle was having trouble and pulled over, but they chose to stay inside. So AI lied. It tricked them. It said, man, we're going to pull over right now because the car is having some kind of trouble. This is why the two 15-year-olds didn't get alerted to what they feel like they needed to get out the vehicle. This is how the police was able to come and get them. So I'm saying that to say, which it might not mean nothing to somebody else, but what if there's you in the vehicle? And what if, let's say, you were one of the ones speaking out against the evils in the world that they don't like? What if you was one of the ones who was speaking out against these Jewish people? And they say, you know what? No, we need to capture him. What if you was one of the ones who, when they restrict the Bible and righteousness all together, what if you was in that vehicle? And they trick you and say, oh, man, we just having car troubles. The car just having a few issues. But the whole time, they didn't alert the police and law enforcement to come get you. Yeah, so this is what's happening. All of this, look, all of it going to tie in together, family. Waymo. So they're happening in California. They're happening in California, San Mateo. And I want y'all to stack these videos, the concept of them as we go. Klaus Schwab say it's going to be, private driven free. So now we see that the AI is driving the people, and the AI has the power to where it's saying that, they get live footage of what's happening in the cabin. So what is it? Because when you look at the video, they say, well, the company will be alerted if it was something wrong going on in the car. Okay, now what's giving you the signal that something is going on wrong in the car? In the first place, for you to make a report that I'm in the car and I'm drunk or whatever I'm doing. Your focus should be just get me to my destination. Matter of fact, this is supposed to be one of the reasons AI drivers is used, because you drunk, you don't need to be driving home by yourself. You put everybody else in danger. So we gonna drive. But instead, they go, and I'm not saying that it's okay that the youngsters were drinking alcohol or whatever. What I'm focusing on is the bigger picture that, man, the AI, they looked into the cabin, saw what they was doing, tricked them so that they wouldn't run, alerted the law enforcement, and law enforcement came and got them. Let's continue going, man. So from that, let's go here. If the power go out, it's raining, man. So I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but we're gonna get as far as we can. Let me see. All right, so check this out. You got these flock cameras right here. You got people right now. They going out destroying these cameras, these flock cameras, AI cameras. What happened with this young lady here? Watch this. See what she say. Hold on. I don't know why it won't play my audio as soon as I click it. Like, come on, man.
$50 ticket in the mail for having my phone on. $250. It's got a $1,250 ticket in the mail for having my phone on my lap, face down, and both hands on the steering wheel. Pretty cool.
She got a $1,250 ticket for driving with both hands on the steering wheel, but her phone was in her lap, face down. How did she get caught? The flock camera, these AI cameras that they putting all throughout the city, through traffic. You know what I mean? Some of us, we done been driving and we got the mail. We got mail. They say, hey, man, we got your tag. You was speeding through the light. We need you to pay this fine. You're like, man, who saw me? So the camera in traffic then took a picture of your tags. Cameras right now, they peering into our vehicles, family, in certain areas. Looking into the car, someone see your phone on your lap. And she get fined $1,250. Woman fined, what is it? $1,250 after a flock safety camera falsely claimed she was on her phone with both hands on the wheel. And when she got the report, it said that she was distracted. Now, taking consideration, what else could the thing have lied or got wrong? What if it was the judgment want to fine? What if the judgment was there? Okay, go put her in handcuffs. What if she swerved a little bit and said she drunk? She just put everybody in danger. Put her in handcuffs for intoxication, driving while intoxicated. This was happening, man. Beast system strategies, eliminating travel freedoms. They want to take that out of our hand because guess what? If you can't leave when you want to, you can't make them. You can't escape. When it's a situation that's dire and it's dangerous, you can't get out the way of danger when you get ready. You're going to be at the mercy of the beast system. All right, let's keep going, man. Let's see. So speaking on that, she got fined. Man, that's a hefty fine. So like, man, who got $1,000, $250 to be paying for some lie AI and told on you? All right, so check this out though. Now, I'm gonna go with the AI overview. It's used as a dragnet, which means it just collects all the information online pertaining to such topics, and it give you a summary breakdown, right? Which I can click on video and go find a video about it and all that, but I'm just gonna read this one. It says several mechanics, pay attention to this. Several mechanics and tuners have been sentenced to prison. If you don't know, prison and the county jail ain't the same, man. Prison is where they say, okay, well, we found you guilty on these charges. We've convicted you. We shipping you out of town. Prison is where you got the lifers and the people doing elbows and full calendars. 100 calendars, what they got to do. This what them folks at where they sharpening the shanks in a prison. Says several mechanics and tuners have been sentenced to prison for disabling, bypassing, or deleting federally required vehicle emission systems. These modifications, which allow heavy-duty diesel trucks to bypass EPA regulations, were prosecuted under the Clean Air Act. All right, so what was going on? You had a man who was fixing, this system, emission system on 18-wheelers. They put him in prison. All right, and it's gonna stack. It's gonna all make sense as we continue on. Why this matter? Let me see what it says. It says Jonathan Achtemeier, a New Jersey man sentenced to 4 months in prison and a $25,000 fine in 2025 for removing pollution control software from hundreds of diesel vehicles. So he went to jail for that. He went to prison for that, rather. Barry Pierce, an Idaho mechanic, sentenced in 2024 to 4 months in prison and $1 million fine for tuning hundreds of vehicles. Man, look, this is crazy, bro. A $1 million fine and 4 months in prison for fixing vehicles. Troy Lake, a Wyoming mechanic who served 7 months in prison and was fined $52,000 for disabling air pollution control equipment on diesel engines. Now, this led to why we see Trump on the screen. So those guys, watch this, in 2025 and 2026, President Trump pardoned or granted clemency to several of the individuals and mechanics convicted in these large-scale diesel tampering cases, characterizing the prosecutions as excessive federal overreach. In June 2026, he also signed the Freedom to Fix presidential memorandum directing the EPA to ease restrictions on independent repair shops and individuals altering emissions equipment. Now, that's important. Why? Now that leads us into the Repair Act. How is this an issue that's so pressing it calls for the president to have to sign off on a bill or an act, to have to try to write an amendment into law? So just like you said at the end of that, these major companies, a lot of them that's opening these data centers and working with, you got Amazon and Google and, Microsoft, all these different companies, man. They playing a key part in this. Like I said, this is just one. We just talking about the elimination of travel or travel freedoms today. All right, but let me share my screen again. So let's get to Trump. Trump had to pardon them folks. The Repair Act. This is why it's important. The Repair Act. It's an acronym. The Repair Act, House Rule 1566. It says it's bipartisan, meaning both parties, Democrats and Republicans alike. It's bipartisan legislation designed to protect your right to fix your vehicle and choose where it is serviced. Because if I got my own vehicle and a problem occurs with it, I don't have to go to no major dealership for it to get fixed. I can fix it at home and be back on the road. But see, that's freedom. That means I don't have to depend on the beast system. Because when we read in Revelation, it say they had to take the mark or the number of his name. Yeah, these companies going to have to show that they have allegiance. And a lot of these car companies, a lot of these manufacturers, these businesses, global businesses, man, they going to have to show that they down with the beast system. So you want your car fixed? Okay, you need to come see the beast. All right, so a lot of these major companies saying that, no, we want to create all these 20, like what we're going to get it. Cars that's made in 2026 and newer, they all having these components put into them where your regular mechanic in your local mechanic shop You know what I mean? Even your shade tree mechanics, they don't have what they need in order to repair the vehicle, family. Meaning that you're going to have to take it to the dealership. And the dealership going to charge more money. Why does that matter? Because eventually people are going to say, well, man, why would I pay all this money? You know what? Instead of me trying to worry about fixing it, this is becoming a headache. Let me just get AI to take me somewhere. This is what all of this is playing a part on. So I'm trying to connect the dots for us, family. Said bipartisan legislation designed to protect your right to fix your vehicle and choose where it is serviced. It prevents automakers from using technological lockouts or restrictive data policies to force car and commercial truck owners to rely exclusively on expensive dealerships for repairs. Yeah. This and people saying, well, it don't matter. No, I'm showing you this so that you know this is what they pressing for. This is what we up against. And if you don't know the seated president right now, that don't mean I don't know how the presidency gonna go. I'm just telling you. You can get somebody else that can come in and change the mind and say, man, we're gonna do away with that. He himself might change his mind. You know what? Forget that. No, I'm changing. We didn't seen it happen before. So they want you to be coming to these dealerships, expensive dealerships, and you get worn out. You get tired and exhausted. You know what I mean? Who got $400 to pay for one little lug nut that go on the tire? Who got a $2,000 just to get your, you know what I mean, a tune up? They making the cars in a way that where if you're gonna fix them, they don't have your byproduct secondhand, you know what I mean, manufacturers who know how to create these same components that your vehicle needs. So it's a monopoly. And that's what they want. Come to us or suffer. All right. But in the meanwhile, the drive is to have us to say, well, we relinquish, you know, having that freedom of travel. You know what I'm saying, man? We rather just depend on the system. I send an AI to pick me up. That's what it's about. Let's keep going, though. Keep going. Check this out. Remember where we started with Klaus Schwab? 193 countries. So there's something else. The European Union. European Union mandates advanced driver distraction warning systems. It says under the EU's general safety regulation, all newly registered passenger cars and vans must feature a cabin-facing infrared camera that tracks gaze direction and head movements to detect and alert drivers to distraction or drowsiness. So they telling you right here, they telling us right here, family. Yeah, we creating cars that they got cameras that peer into the cab to watch you while you driving. They had these implementation and traffic in the EU or in Europe since 2024. But now they to the point in 2026 where they say, man, we gonna hype it up. And they rolling it out like it's something that's beneficial to the people. This is how they get us. All right, but convenience in exchange for our privacy, in exchange for our own taking responsibility in our own hands. Now when we do that, we give ourselves over to be slaves, man. So let me show you something else from the official site from Europe to back up what I just showed you. Watch this. Here we go. This is an official legit site. Look, what it say right here? What it say right here? You see the mouse? An official website of the European Union. Who is that? Bill Gates? It says safer cars, safer roads, new rules take effect. This was July 8, 2026. European roads are among the safest in the world. But the number of deaths and injuries from road accidents is still too high. Thanks to the EU's general safety regulation. Look. Said many safety systems have already been mandatory for all newly registered cars and vans since 2024. Starting on 7 July 2026, these vehicles will now be subject to even more advanced safety requirements. You see requirements? This is not a choice. This is something that's mandatory. You must have this. It's necessary. You don't have a say in it. It says all new passenger cars, when you see that, it's telling you that what people have to get into is not self-driven. It's not autonomous. It says all new passenger cars and vans across the EU must now have the life-saving systems. Advanced emergency brake detecting pedestrians and cyclists. So this right here, your car will stop on its own. All right, but if you ever looked at Jesse Ventura, if you ever looked at any of the videos from 60 Minutes, where you had the reporters going and talking to, people with technological information, knowing how to hack systems, they can hack our vehicles, family. The cars have computers in them. You know what I mean? You only got to go back so far to where you got vehicles that don't have computerized components. All right, but right here, advanced emergency brake detecting pedestrians and cyclists. They will be able to, the car self AI will stop your car when they feel like it's a pedestrian there. All right, so what about when the people, remember the video, they took Tesla to the graveyard and on the map in the Tesla, it was showing people walking around, which was really spirits, but the lady lifted the camera up and showed you, ain't nobody out there in the graveyard. But the camera was picking up on people. So I'm saying that to say, if the AI system picks up on a spirit, that it's a pedestrian there, or even if they just want to peer in on you, you a target. Man, they can cause your car to stop. Law enforcement come. All right, to imprison you, because what it's going to boil down to, if you have the mark of the beast or not. You keeping the commandments and the testimony of the Messiah or not, you're going to be targeted. It says advanced driver distraction warning system to keep drivers focused. This is what it's saying. It's looking in. It's watching your facial expressions. It's looking to see if you alert, if you tired, if you drowsy, if you happy. How long you done took your eyes off the road. It's paying attention to you. You're being watched. Better forward vision, new test for worn tires to ensure safer performance. Expanded safety glass area to protect pedestrians during accidents. Okay. That's like, man, you know what? That's so awesome. I'm so glad that they looking out for us. But expanded safety glass also mean, what if you need to break the window out? What if that's the way you got to get out the vehicle in an emergency? They're making it more hard for us. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. All right. What else is happening? What else is happening? This right here.
The median fire on Wednesday. Fire crews are in full control north of Wendell after strong winds fueled the median fire on Wednesday, scorching over 8,600 acres north of Interstate 84. I'm your Magic Valley neighborhood reporter, Joey Martin, at L&L Auto, where that fire destroyed thousands of classic vehicles, leaving the owners behind to pick up the pieces.
This is destroyed thousands of classic vehicles. Why are we here? Because to be free from what they trying to do with these new model vehicles, these old vehicles are required. And if we want to maintenance our older vehicles, guess what? We have to go to junkyards and go get those parts off of them. But what you're going to find out is that for some reason, a lot of these junkyards have recently been catching fire, been burning up. And guess what? This person here, 8,600 acres. Keep going, man.
Of classic vehicles, leaving the owners behind to pick up the pieces.
This is L&L Classic Auto. It's been around since the 60s.
For L&L manager Jesse Johnson, Wednesday's median fire was more than just a normal brush fire. It was a wall of destruction.
We had 10,000 cars. And if you look at 90% of the inventory, we probably lost 9,000. There's not one part of this yard that wasn't affected somehow by this fire.
Jesse says once the fire started to approach Highway 46, fueled by the wind, things escalated quickly.
I started coming up the main road, and I ran into several vehicles. It got where I couldn't see, I couldn't breathe. I seen a left, I took it, I went out through the desert with the rollback. I got my car and the other rollback out.
Beyond losing an estimated 9,000 cars, the fire also took out the office with all of the records and a new tow shop. And according to Jesse, this might mean the end for L&L.
This here might cripple this business forever. I just don't know yet until we get some of the debris off the ground and figure out what's going on.
Adding to the frustration, ensuring a salvage yard is almost impossible.
Insurance every year has been going up, and there's no way to insure junk cars sitting in a yard. We jump through hoops just so we can keep the insurance on the building. So we are not going to be collecting any money from insurance companies. We're not making millions of dollars out of this. All we're getting is a lot of hard work.
Now, under a new day sun, Jesse is still processing what happened.
I went to home last night, took a bath, was hoping it was just a dream. Came in this morning. Obviously, it wasn't a dream. It's for real. L&L Classic might not be.
Man, let that minister to you. This ain't a dream, man. This real. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying 10,000 cars, and out of 10,000, maybe 9,000 got touched. Burned it down. And this is just one city. We're not talking about what's happening in Florida and these other places. All right, but it said that even the records, the office of this location was burned. Was that such a thing? Because all of the records is linked to where else do you get the manufacturer's information and numbers, and you know what I mean? You need that the history of these different vehicles and cars that you got. Fire destroys it. Whatever component is in it, man. And so the fires is happening. One of the reasons is because to take away and eliminate the travel freedom. Bro, you might say, you know, I'm cool on a new car. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no new car, so let me get the old one. But in order to keep your car running and up the part to be even put on the road, sometimes you're going to have to go to where the older cars are at that got the parts that you need. They burning the junkyards up. Junkyards is getting burned, man. All right, and that takes away from, you know, that leads or encourages more. You know what I mean? This seed to cause people to have to depend on these major businesses and companies. So these was classic cars, man. Yeah, I know. And if you think I'm lying about this control, right? I remember a brother had on his vehicle. On his vehicle, he had a system called the governor. What this governor system do is no matter what speed limit you hit or he hit, he could never go beyond it. You know what I mean? So there's ways to tweak these vehicles, to manipulate these vehicles for whatever purpose that they have. Let's keep going, man. These system strategies, eliminating travel freedoms. All right, so let's get more of this. Watch this. This is a key component of what they're doing, of why they want to eliminate that. This is something else that's going to be flooded onto the people of how they're going to encourage people to say, yeah, you know what? Let me depend on let my travel dependency be placed into the hands of AI. You know what? I don't even want to drive. That means there's going to be a lot of people who don't know how to drive, man. 15-minute city. Says the 15-minute city is an urban planning concept in which most daily necessities and services, such as work, shopping, education, healthcare, and leisure. So that's how you get your money. That's how you feed your family. That's how you learn and be edified. That's how you take part in, concern for your health and your well-being, and leisure. This for your recreation. Says can be easily reached by a 15-minute walk, bike ride, or not your own car, public transit ride from any point in the city. This approach aims to reduce car dependency. This approach aims to reduce car dependency, promote healthy and sustainable living, and improve well-being and quality of life for city dwellers. They don't mind you riding a bike because a bike can't keep up with the vehicles that they drive. They don't mind you walking because you can't keep up with them pulling up on you on a motorcycle. So this leads me to another point, what many people might not understand. So let me help you out. When we GPS locations, right, using Google, so many people, when you type in a distance from this place to that place, destination-wise, it gives you different means of the time span that it's going to take. You say, well, if you're driving a car to get from Memphis to Indianapolis, it might take you 9 hours. That's a car, though. But also it got the tab for the bus. The bus might say it take 3 days. The train might take a week and a half. But it also have on there the bike, people. And it got on there the main one that always tripped me out and had a highlight on it. Walking. How long it'll take to walk to this location. Why is that important? Because if you don't know, this is what the B system doing too. Along with Amazon Flex, along with your delivery drivers for Domino's and Pizza Hut and all these other places, along with Lyft and Uber and DoorDash. What they've said, we're going to utilize the people to create a map for us. So it's certain things that's on the GPS that they have not tracked or found the path to get to certain locations. So when you walking, you know the shortcut. You know the back roads or the boondocks out there in the country, in the rural areas. You know the paths to take. So by you using your GPS, they use you as a point, as a beacon to lay out the mapping. This right here is in place so that, okay, when the time comes when people might want to escape and run, yeah, they already have the maps for the shortcuts and the back roads that they didn't get the, Google, the Google cameras to pick up on, which I need to show that too, man. Yes, indeed. Let me share my screen again. So 15-minute cities, which brings us all to this point right here. United Nations, fair use for every video I done showed for educational purposes. All of that builds up for this right here, family. At least what I say for us today. United Nations, transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It says this agenda is a plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity. It also seeks to strengthen universal peace and larger freedom. Check this out. We recognize that eradicating poverty, in all its forms and dimensions, including extreme poverty, is the greatest global challenge and an indispensable requirement for sustainable development. We're going to revisit this eradicating poverty. It says all countries and all stakeholders acting in collaborative partnership will implement this plan. So they let you know they all on one accord for this. We are resolved to free the human race from the tyranny of poverty and want, and to heal and to secure our planet. We are determined to take the bold and transformative steps which are urgently needed to shift the world onto a sustainable and resilient path. As we embark on this collective journey, we pledge that no one will be left behind. Check this out. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets which we are announcing today demonstrate the scale and ambition of this new universal agenda. They seek to build on the Millennium Development Goals and complete what these did not achieve. They seek to realize the human rights of all and to achieve gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. They are integrated and indivisible. You can't divide it. Everybody's in agreement. Nobody's working alone and without the consent of all the other people who involved, or countries rather. It says and balance the three dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental. The goals and targets will stimulate action over the next 15 years in areas of critical importance for humanity and the planet. All right. Thank you, Father, for your word. What's happening here, family? Hold on, let me see something. Hold up. Hold on before I continue. Hold up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So when we look into these 17 points, a part of what they own and what they all agreeing to. Matter of fact, just to simplify, this whole thing with the United Nations and the Agenda 2030. Remember when we started with the video with Klaus Schwab? He's a part of this. This is a part of their agenda and what the targets that they have. The private driver-free Los Angeles, which then will be spilled over to the whole world. So, which also bring to mind, remember what happened, as the UK just said not too long ago, you got to have a digital ID in order to work in the UK. That's talking about working. But next thing you know, along with the world coin, you know what I'm saying, they're going to have this thing to where you got to have this digital ID to do anything. So that brings us to prophecy, man. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras 15. Now we're going to, let's see what the Most High got to say. 2nd Esdras chapter 15. If you don't have an apocryphal or King James 1611, you know what I'm saying, or just the Bible that got those missing 14 books, you need to get you one. Even if you ain't got a hard copy, which I advise you get the hard copy, but you can download it. We're going to 2nd Esdras 15 though. Yeah, so they want this 15-minute city because guess what? People are easier to control when they group together. This is what the projects was about. This is what apartments are about. You know what I'm saying? You have an apartment, it take away the freedom. Yeah, it's like it's more convenient. You know what I mean? It has its benefits because you're like, yeah, I mean, I can't afford a lawnmower. I can't afford a weed eater. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even afford to cut my own grass. So an apartment is well to have for people who might feel like that. But in a house give you freedom, because now you have a yard. And if you decide, man, let me go plant me some food, man. You know what? Let me get me a few livestock out here. You know, even outside it, what if I want to just build me a little secret hideout in the ground or in the tree? You got that kind of freedom. But if you can group everybody together in a stacked building, it's like, oh yeah, we know who in here. We know it's a lot of people in here. So it's easier to control when everybody's together. But when people spread it out, man, it's harder to control, man. You can't put the bead on them. Like, man, I don't know where he at. Where is she? They could be in any one of these bushes. They might even be in one of these lakes, holding their breath. Because that's what it's going to turn to, man. This is a part of the beast system strategy that's going to lead to the righteous rebels being hunted down. 2nd Ezra 15:1, man. Says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Most High, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. What come out the Father's mouth, it is going to take place. His words are faithful and true. If you can't believe nobody or no thing, you can believe what he said. Verse 3 says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So yeah, it's going to be people patently lost his mind. Or you, when you repeat these things. And if you know these things already, to try to warn the people about what's going on, they're going to have all type of stuff to say against you. No, that ain't the beast system. You don't know what you're talking about. Look, man, don't be worried about none of that. You speak what he told you to speak. Get the blood off your hands. It's on them after that. Verse 5 say, behold, saith the Most High, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So we're talking about these earthquakes in Venezuela, back to back, then the sky turned red. Then we talking about what's happening. Cities flooded and icing in the summertime. Lava, volcanoes erupting. All type of landslide, death and destruction is going down. The Father's sending these plagues. Verse 6, why is he sending them? He said, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Most High, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. So everything you think you big enough and bad enough to do, anything that make you feel like you right and you got the right to do this. So they exercising themselves. They not checking with the Father. They're not trying to make sure the Father approve of what they doing. Then so many people get word from the Most High, and guess what? They internalize it to mean that it's against somebody else. Now, the prophet, when the word comes to a prophet, before you even put it out to somebody else, it's for you first. Continuing on. It says, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. That's that Ezekiel 9:4 right there. Verse 9 says, and therefore saith the Most High, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So the people who are being slaughtered, people who are being subjugated to people who operating with these bullet and demonic spirits on them and in them, falling under the hand of the adversary. Now, if we moving like that, we got to pay for that, man. We don't belong to ourselves. We belong to the Most High. Watch how you treat his people. Verse 10 says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. It's not the same Egypt. The house of bondage. So, and the powers that be, the ones in these key positions, who serve in these fallen angels, who agents of Satan, who worship the beast, listen, they trying to turn the whole world to Egypt, a house of bondage, to have us all be prisoners and slaves. The Father said, man, he ain't having it though. So they build them, like you say, they gonna build, but the Father gonna throw down. He said, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Why you think they talking about right now El Nino? Saying that this winter gonna be unlike any other. Get ready. Most High said he's sending plagues, man. Verse 12 says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it, which America, the headquarters for a lot of this nonsense and wickedness, because it's the world power. Folk falling in line with them. Yeah, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with the fearful constellation. While we hearing the farmers crying out, the farmers protesting, the farmers being, you know what I mean, antagonized. And it was said that a lot of government officials approached and government agents approached a lot of farmers and told them to burn their crop, man. Now we talking Monsanto seed. And we talking about the verse that says that because the wickedness and iniquity of mankind, the livestock, the vegetation get affected. Now our watermelons ain't growing full size. Now our pineapples is so small. Bunch of seedless fruits and seedless vegetables in the stores and all of that. Verse 14 says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, is near. And one people shall stand up to fight against another. And what we seeing right now, the wood constantly being dropped in the fire. This race war. Let's get this race war popping. Whites and blacks, let's get it going. Constantly dropping it in the news, man. That's fuel for it. One people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Verse 17, this is the one you need to highlight. All of it, really. But I'm gonna say put a check mark on this one in relation to today's subject. Beast system strategies eliminating travel freedoms. Verse 17 says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So now time passed, we realize and we say, well, yeah, that's people need to get their passports. Then you got the Real ID Act. All of these things, but also right here, a person gonna want to go into a city, but not gonna be able because you don't have a vehicle. You're not allowed to. You're gonna have to have AI drive you somewhere. Or look, man, we're gonna have to get these horses. You know what I'm saying? Who got the horses in the land, man? We need to get that ready. But it said a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Because the 15-minute cities, they want to keep us all in this one area. You don't need to go see what we're doing out here in the rest of the land of the world. We want y'all all at one little location where we can watch y'all and keep an eye on y'all. It's a prison. It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Man, the Most High ain't lying. I don't care how tough any man think he is. And this hour right here say, man, men gonna be afraid. So if the men scared, what the women doing? But if that man is empowered and he really got the Holy Spirit in him, he really tapped in with the Most High, the Father gonna guide him and his family. But that pride right there, this is gonna be the downfall of not only single individual people, but a lot of households. Because they're pride. Let go your pride, man. Let the pride go. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, because he feel like, man, I deserve this. Man, I can take this from you. I ain't got no pity for you because it belongs to me. I don't have a concern about your well-being. That's how pride works as well. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, because it ain't enough food. And if you ain't got a vehicle, that's one of the main reasons we got cars. We got scooters and motorcycles and bikes, skateboards even. You know what I mean? Some people on skates. But a part of it, because we need to travel somewhere to go get us some food, man. So people don't understand they got these automated 18-wheelers, self-driving 18-wheelers. So if they say, well, you know what, this right here is the way society gonna be set up. It ain't no more 18-wheeler, human drivers. If they say, well, you know what, don't send no food to this city or this neighborhood, well, the suffering gonna commence, man. The lack of bread. It says, and for great tribulation. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me. He said he's going to call them all together. Now, this taking us back to this Project 2030. Because it's 193 countries. All the kings of the earth to reverence him. How? Let me go back to it. Because I told y'all we're going to keep in mind what they said about this poverty. So hold on, let me pull this up as a matter of fact. A simple question. What is the most poorest ethnic group in the world? I'm gonna connect the dots for you. Try to at least. Let's see what we get. Hold on. Because this is a way that they put. I'm trying to use the verbiage that they use. So I'm gonna say impoverished. Hold on. Let me see. I had that right on my had it on my phone. See how I mentioned it here. Hold up. Because what you're gonna find out is when he's saying he's gonna call them all to reverence him, it's gonna be in regards to his people, man. All right, you see here. What ethnic group? There we go. All right, let me pull my screen. Let me get back to y'all. All right, so look. He said, 2nd Ezra 15:20, behold, says the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. Who is this them? Verse 21, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen. Now, stick with me. Watch this. Pull back up. Remember, it said to eradicate poverty. So let me go here. What is the most impoverished ethnic group in the U.S.? It says in the United States, Native Americans, American Indians, and Alaska Natives experience the highest poverty rate of any ethnic group, with approximately 20 to 27% living below the federal poverty line. What did it say right after that? Black Americans have the second highest rate at roughly 18 to 20%. So if they want to totally eradicate poverty, these groups, and even if you just say, well, don't worry about the Native Americans, just focus on the Black Americans is second in line. So that means we are a target. They have a focus on us. I've said because of what they did to them, talking about what they did to his chosen. Letting you know, if the poor people, I'm trying to give you the understanding. They said we want to eradicate the poverty in the world. Look at who's listed as the most impoverished. So that means by default, they would have to be somebody who you deal with. They're part of who you focus on because they are impoverished. Those same people, though, who saying that we're going to focus on eradicating, is 193 countries that's agreeing to this. So all of them have to have a focus on their group. Make sense? Verse 21 says, it's like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, in recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Most High Power, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath and have consumed the foundations of the earth and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. 24, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Most High. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children from the power, defile not my sanctuary. All right. So it said, woe to them that don't keep the commandments. Let's go to Proverbs. So we done went through all this information, laid it out to get to this right here. This is another part of it. This is admonishment. Proverbs 27, verse 12. Yes, indeed. These Israelites, we gonna be the end game targets. It's about us. As far as I'm concerned, this is gonna turn into a series because it's different branches and different limbs of how this thing got to be broke down. This is just talking about transportation, man. We ain't even jumped into the food shortages and seeds and how all this gonna play a part. We ain't jumped into that yet. Proverbs 27 and 12, man. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hide of himself. So this person see this evil, they see what's happening, what's going on, what is leading to, and they don't just sit there and become idle. They don't just ignore it and say, well, it's gonna happen if it's gonna happen. Now, you a fool if you think like that. It said a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hide of himself. He gonna take precaution. Oh, look, I don't want to be a part. I don't want to suffer that evil. It says, but the simple pass on and are punished. And a lot of people psyched out in their minds, believing and thinking that they can handle the punishment that's coming. It is what it is. Man, you a fool, man. You a fool with that thought process. Because what you don't know is how you gonna go out. You might be thinking, well, it is what it is. It might just be a headshot. No, man, it say the devil gonna cast some of us into prison for 10 days. You don't know. You might be tortured for 10 days, sir. Ma'am. You don't know how that thing gonna play out. But a prudent man see that evil and hide and say, we're gonna take precautions, man. We ain't gonna just ignore this. Like I said, we're gonna start them. Oh, Lord, how else can I travel? Yeah, we need to be walking. We need to get better without walking. Go running. We need to do that. Be getting in shape to the point where we might not be able to move and travel. We probably ain't gonna have them cars, man. How we gonna get around in? Let's go to Revelation. Revelation. Because this thing gonna be majorly enforced by means of the mark of the beast. And if you ain't got that mark, guess what? You're subject to the system. Well, not subject to the system. You a threat to the system. Therefore, your normal, you know what I'm saying, ability to go out and get what you want and need for your family is going to be stripped away. We're going to have to find a different means to survive through these times or those times. I'm in Revelation 6, though. Revelation chapter 6. I'm going to get verse 7 when we started. It says, when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death, and Hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High, and for the testimony which they held. So individuals who got slain for the word of the Father and their testimonies, they under the altar. And what are they saying? Verse 10 says, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Holy One, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? All right, so I'm going here because these individuals, the population of these people, they didn't bow to the beast system, man. Because his word let us know anybody that take that mark and line up with the system, you're going into the lake of fire and brimstone. So what we need to be doing, we need to be working gradually as much as we can to be letting go of these things that the system and the world provide. Because if it's snatched away from us, so many people are going to collapse. They're going to say, man, I'm hungry. I ain't eating through that. We need to be fasting more. Let me get that verse, man. What the Messiah told us when them boys were trying to ridicule him. They said, man, why your disciples don't fast, man? Let me get this verse, man. And we got to understand this, man. The word, you got people, it's spirits that's working against us to speak the word, to stand on the word, to believe in the word, to have faith in the Most High. Man, like I done said it before, in the end, everybody gonna know, bro. It ain't gonna be no questions. It ain't gonna be no doubt. It ain't gonna be no wondering. All that plan and you know, feeling like, well, I got it, and this, that, and the third, and against the Father, all of that's gonna be, it's gonna be a cease, a screeching halt. It ain't gonna be no question marks in nobody mind. So this word, man, we gotta eat this daily, read this daily as much as possible. I'm in Matthew 9 though. Verse 14 says, then came to him the disciples of John, saying, why do we and the Pharisees fast oft, but thy disciples fast not? And the Messiah said unto them, can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them, and then shall they fast. All right, so we ain't got the bridegroom with us, family. So we got to be fasting more. And by doing that, because they putting so much in the food, in the air, and all type of stuff, we battling these different frequencies from, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Them sending little signals into our household. Some of us don't even know that. They'll target your house and send frequencies in your house, man. This was part of when they said, remove the paint that has lead in it. Because people paint their houses and the paint got lead in it. And they say, well, they always roll it out as a safety tactic. Well, people might eat the lead chips. Okay, who is finna just go and dig into the paint bucket and start eating the paint, man? We got enough sense to tell our children, don't do that. Don't be peeling the paint out the wall and start eating the chips of paint. We got enough sense. It wasn't for that reason. It's because that lead that was in the paint kept them from being able to see through the house. Like now, they got the technology through Wi-Fi connections. They can see into our houses. But the lead would have stopped that. But we need to be fasting because as we consume these things from the world, bro, we put it in our bodies. And it has an impact on our bodies. The less of it we consume, the better off we'll be. I'm not telling nobody to go out and just don't eat at all. No, I'm saying as much as we can limit that, we limit the impact that it has on us. All right, let me go back here to Revelation though. So fasting, to go without, you know what I'm saying? Even with vehicles, some of us, we can't ride in the car with the AC off. We just got to cut it on. We can't stand to sit in the house with the AC off for 30 minutes. We got to have it on. Corner store right there. You got to get in your car to go to the corner store. Man, come on. Look, we got to start doing things without. Let's walk to the corner store. The park ain't that far. Let's walk to the park. You know what I'm saying? Too dependent on the technology. This is how they able to take it from us and use it against us to imprison us, family. I'm in Revelation 12. Hold on. Yeah. I'm in Revelation 12, man. Verse 17 says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach. Commandments and faith together. These are the people who targeted. If we go into 2nd Ezra 16, it says a burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they focusing on the ones that fear the Most High. And the people that fear the Most High, they keep his commandments and have the faith in his son, as well as acknowledge the Holy Spirit. And if you don't know, you ain't seeing the kingdom if you don't have the Holy Spirit, man. That's another message. But right now, all I'm trying to get people to focus on is this beast system strategy of them eliminating our travel freedoms. You won't be able to move around like you want to. This is what they're pushing for. This is what's happening around us. Let me see if I want anything else before we close out. Question, comments, and concerns before we do close out. Just trying to see if I got anything else. I think I do. Have some more admonishment. I think I do. Let's see. Hold up. Yeah, let's go to Matthew 7. Go to Matthew 7, man. Matthew chapter 7. Don't worry about what the Father told us. What he allowed to be written, that's for our learning too and application. He said, man, don't worry about these folks who don't believe and they got these, they want to scoff and be scorners. And they think you crazy for believing in the scripture. Don't worry about it. You do what you're supposed to do. Matthew 7. Let me see. I want, yep. I'm in verse 24. Matthew 7, verse 24. Yes, indeed. We need to do that. Like fast from their phone. Yep. Cut that TV off. You know what I'm saying? We have so many connections of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in our houses now. Man, it benefits us to go out in nature. You know what I'm saying? To get away. This is why I love the Feast of Tabernacles. We get a chance to get away from all this stuff, man. And we don't got to wait till the Feast of Tabernacles to do it. Man, we could be camping on a regular basis. A normal interval. Outside of the holy day. Matthew 7:24 says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, you hear what he said now. It says, and do with them. So we doing what he say. We're not just hearing it and listening to it, acknowledging it, because you can acknowledge it, hear it, and all that, and still not obey. Said we hear it and we do them. Says, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not. For it was founded upon a rock. That rock is Christ, man. He is the spirit of prophecy. This is how we get the insight in the game to know what's coming and what's going to happen. All praise to the Most High for his son, man. Verse 26, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and do of them not. You don't obey. You ignore it. You cast it behind your back. You say, oh, it ain't that serious. He says, shall be likened unto a foolish man. And the scripture tell you that, man, what's heavier than lead? But a fool. He says, which built his house upon the sand. How soft sand is, you can sink into it. And it says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. All right, so we want to make sure, man, we building our foundation on Hamashiach, on the Father's word, and truth in his spirit. We're not worried about what these other folks thinking. He done already gave us the game. Broad and wide is the way that lead to destruction. A lot of people going to be caught off guard. They don't want to hear this information. That's not your problem. All you do is get the blood off your hands like I'm doing. Tell them, and the rest is on them. I think I want to look at this mark of the beast before we close out, man. I want to get them scriptures. Hold up. Man, I forgot the what's name too. I forgot. Hold on. Yeah. Revelation 13. These system strategies eliminating travel freedoms. Drop what you learned in the chat, man. We in Revelation 13. Okay, I'm gonna start with 11. Revelation 13 and 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. And he spake as a dragon. And he exercised of all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. I talked about this in a message titled Men and Miracles. You got a lot of people that feel like, man, I need to see something supernatural. I just need to see something that's so amazing. Be careful of that. Because if you always needing to see something, I'm not sure you got true faith. You need to check yourself. If it takes for fire to rain out the sky for you to believe, you might not believe for real. And in the time you do see fire come out the sky, guess what? You might be subjugated or subject to the beast. So it means a miracle. And he deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So he got the power to put you to death if you go against the beast and you don't worship the beast. Verse 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So just because you're in jail or prison or whatever, he's talking about everybody. He's trying to get everybody to get it. To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell. So we get in the vehicles to go buy food for the family. A lot of time we get in a vehicle to go to the store to buy clothes that we need. To go buy house supplies to clean up or whatever. A lot of time we jumping in cars to do that. So just that alone, take that away, that freedom, so many people gonna collapse. I can't move around like I want to. Hey, give me that mark of the beast. Here go my right hand, put it in my forehead. A lot of people gonna tap out just off that alone, not being able to drive around like they want to. He says that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right. So keeping in mind, man, the beast system strategy, all of it is funneling into where a person gonna have to have the mark of the beast to operate in this world, man. And those who take it, the end for you The end for them, you know what I mean, it's gonna be the lake of fire and brimstone. It said the smoke of their torment gonna go up day and night forever. Yeah, man. So we don't want to be in that number in population. This is why it's important for us to keep these commandments, man. Keep the faith in the Messiah. Let us fast more. Let us pray more. Let us actually read and read, not with our own thinking process that we want to understand it or use the word for our own purpose. But Father, we want to understand it according to how you had it written so that we can apply for our soul salvation, man. It's a lot on the line. The devil ain't playing, man. But guess what? The Most High ain't playing either. You know what I'm saying? We see the hour approaching more and more. Stuff being built up around us. We need to be building our spirits up. Yes, indeed, man. Question, comments, and concern before we close out. Yes, indeed, bro. JJ, y'all looking for that sign all the time, man. The only sign you getting is somebody preaching and telling you what's finna happen. Let me see, y'all. I want y'all to drop in the chat what you learned today. If you learned anything, smash the like button. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yep, World Economic Forum. Bro said it's self-driving taxis and cabs all over San Francisco. Yeah, man. They said they don't roll this thing out just immediately, you know, all at one time. They have patience. Your enemy got patience, man. We say, man, I'll wait 30 years to get them acclimated to what I want them to do. You got to look at the fact of what happened with Walmart with COVID, bro. Walmart used to be open 24 hours or at least to 12 o'clock at night, which meant that at that late hour, those wing hours, man, people were still able to go get what they wanted, something that they might need it, or that they need rather. But by now, since 2019, that ain't returned, bro. So now people used to Walmart closing at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock or whatnot. Yeah, man. So then you looking at, used to have nothing but registers with humans standing at them. And you had a small section when they first brought it in where the self-checkout. The self-checkout, look, is taking over. You probably got maybe 4 people, 5 people at the register to check you out. You got other registers, but guess what? The lights is out. Ain't nobody there. Everybody going through self-checkout. It done expanded. Saying it is getting people used to not to be dealing with face-to-face human interaction. And that's only going to grow to what happened with Whole Foods and other businesses. The Palm Pay. Now you got the market of beast in your right hand. Here you go. Now pay for your food like that. Oh, you need to travel. You need to go somewhere. All right, use the app to get the AI to come pick you up. And when it pick you up, you got to scan your right hand or your forehead in order to get to wherever you're trying to go to. So they want to even eliminate those jobs and take their entrepreneur freedoms as well. Yes, indeed. Making people more dependent on the system. Yes, indeed. It will also let them know your every move. Yes. That's what it's about. 15-minute cities. I want to keep you under a microscope. Yeah, Lariah said they showed us all of these things back in the 60s and 70s, the electric cars and robots, etc. Were all mentioned in the cartoon The Jetsons back in the day. Yep. Hakeem, man, Shabbat Shalom, fam. Much love and much respect to you and the family, fam. Yes, they do. They put a lot of it in movies. Like we was talking about earlier. The show From, you got the Silo, you got the show called Paradise, you got the show called Wayward Pines. And one of the key, you know what I mean, the key things about these shows, they in this concentrated area. Like they can't leave. That's not just them want to entertain. You know what I'm saying? They use movies as metaphors. They might add a bunch of stuff to make it entertainment, make it dramatic. But it's a message in all these movies and shows, man. Yeah, they want us to be in a place where 15-minute cities. Your travel distance is restricted. You can't go as far as you want to. We got you trapped in on every side. You say, yep. It says, or lie and say you committed a crime you didn't commit. I think this is in regards to like what happened with Waymo. Yep. And then this go into it, but check this out. That tie in with what they call it, predictive policing. And I think this happening for sure in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken. I spoke about that before, but this is where your Minority Report come in, that movie. They saying, well, you're going to commit a crime. We know you're going to commit this crime before you even do it. Now them folks showing up at your house, you know what I'm saying, breaking your door down, putting cuffs on you, saying that we figured by statistics, historically, it was a crime that was going to take place in this area, and you was the one that was going to commit it. Let me see. Yeah. Let me see what else y'all saying. Bro said he picked up a car for a Lexus dealership one day, and the owner of the vehicle just needed to replace the radiator, and they wanted to charge them $6,000. Man, if that ain't crazy, $6 to replace a radiator. You know what I'm saying? And they making these newer model vehicles in a way where, like, well, if you came in late, they making these newer model vehicles in a way where your local mechanic won't know how to fix it, or either they won't have the technology that's required to fix it. That way that you can have to pay $6,000 for a radiator, $7,000 to fix your timing belt, $100,000 just to fix the, you know what I'm saying, your electric throttle body. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it could be 100,000, but it's gonna be an arm and a leg, man. Man, I'm so glad you dropped this, because this is how we being watched. A lot of people being watched right now too, if you don't know. And if somebody knows, it's a certain name of some technology that they put in the cars that actually watch us. But yeah, it says start with insurance company like Progressive, giving you a discount if you plug their snapshot device into your car, watching where you go. And then they say we'll give you, points if you go without any kind of occurrence in traffic citations or wrecks. But in that, you is changing your privacy and control. In the movie The World Left Behind, all the Teslas called back to the dealership by a computer. Yep. You see. Yeah, my old schools. He said, ask for the old pals. Most I know what he talking about, man. Go to the old pal, man. Old cars, the old way we used to heal ourselves. The old, you know what I'm saying? We farming and feeding ourselves. The old pal, man. Yes, indeed. So she said she had a dream. Everyone was driving smart cars. I pulled up in an old school box Chevy. Something happened, and none of the smart cars worked anymore. My Chevy was the only one. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So in Florida, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's in Opa-Locka. They had, fires in the Let me just try to pull it up instead of that. Give me a second. Junkyard fires. Yeah, so the word is that it's been 12 different junkyards that done caught fire in the last 6 weeks. That's the word. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. Watch this. Hold up. Here you go, right here. This is what happened. Junkyard.
Over the scene of what Chopper 4 live over the scene of what is left of a junkyard that caught fire more than 24 hours ago. You can see a large area destroyed as firefighters continue to spray water on the area. And the devastation is very real for this business owner. She watched her livelihood burn and reduce to ash. Good afternoon. I'm Naja Sherman. This fire is being called one of the largest in Opa-Locka history. And as it continues to burn, there are air quality concerns in the area. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez is your reporter live near the scene with the latest on the firefight. Maribel.
Well, Naja, this fire erupted at around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and crews are still out here. There are at least a dozen of them. And just a few minutes ago, we did see them giving a major dousing to one of the businesses that throughout the morning we have seen that just continues to reignite. And all this while business owners and workers look on devastated.
Yeah.
I am really, really emotional.
And then too, like I said, this is a junkyard in Florida, man. They said hundreds of the businesses surrounding that junkyard was to be evacuated. You know what I'm saying? So the junkyards getting burned because it get rid of the parts for the older vehicles. Yeah, and that put people at, you know what I'm saying, in a position where it's pressure on them. They can't now. You can't restore that. That's not just something that's gonna affect those just the business owner. How many people in Opa-Locka and the surrounding areas depended on that junkyard to go get their car parts when they needed fixing? This is how these folk working. You gotta understand this, man. Yeah, they would stop making parts for old cars. Yes, indeed, man. Smash the like button if you haven't. Let me see. What else y'all saying down here? Yes, indeed, man. We can't forget, bro. Like, I'm gonna say that for another message. It'll be that way I can go into more detail. I'm gonna reserve my comment. Oh yeah, they throwing up apartments everywhere, like ASAP. They want to jam pack us in one location. Yes, indeed. We're being stripped of our freedoms one little thing at a time to take away our freedom and independence. Yeah, because they want us dependent on the beast system. You got to depend on the Most High, man, and move in the manner He wants us to. Let me see. No seeded grapes to be found. Indeed, watermelons, they taking seeds out of all type of stuff. And meanwhile, while they doing it, they got the doomsday seed vault. They want us on our knees begging. They want us begging them, man. Let's see what else y'all saying before we close out. Yep, being Israelites in this time, we are, look, it's going to turn to we are the targets. I'm trying to tell you what's going to happen. Anybody that fear the Most High, who done made peace with the Most High, you're going to be a target. If you standing for righteousness, whoever you is, you're going to be a target. Yes, indeed. Let me see. Yup, fasting is going to increase discipline, self-control, patience, the fruits of the spirit in you, and it strips away these worldly desires, man. It increases our distaste for the world and our desire for it. Make us sharper. Super important tool of war. Our weapons are not carnal. You see what else y'all saying? Yep, I'm glad bro dropped it. There was that verse, 2nd Ezra 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, that fear the Most High, man. Yep, great was the fall of Babylon, that city. It's easy to catch us if they limit our travel. Yup. Google Map, mapping out backward. Yes, indeed. I said I wanted to show that video too. 8 years ago, they celebrated that Google mapping had reached the point of like 100 cities, 100 countries or so. They've been doing this since the 90s, though. Since like, not the 90s, maybe the 80s or 70s. Early in Google, they had already started mapping out cities and towns and countries. Said that they want to digitize the world to put it on the map. You know what I'm saying? The mark of the beast, I know what the mark of the beast is? Anything that when they roll it out and enforce it, they telling you can't buy or sell without it. That's what the mark of the beast is. If you can't buy or sell without it, that's the mark of the beast. I don't care if they say, hey man, take this pen. Without this pen, you can't buy or sell. That's it. Stay away from that. Yes, indeed. Said, don't get comfortable in the beast system and be ready to walk this walk differently than those that sleep. Disconnect from their system as much as possible. Yes, indeed. So this is just comments what people learn from today's message, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all to with these responses to keep building up them bricks. All praise it. Yes, indeed. Yep. Sue said she saw somebody in person wave her hand at the cash register to pay for whatever she had. Gotta step our spirit up. Yes, indeed. We gotta elevate in spirit for real, man. Devil want to keep us on low levels. Like, nah, we gotta pour out, get more and more that make you out the way, man. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be a new creature. Let me see. Y'all, Ryan just said the TV show, The 100. I'm gonna have to try to watch that. I don't know if I ever got into it. Let me see. So it said, or app, yup. Yeah, so what we're looking at is techno-feudalism, man. Techno-feudalism is what they want. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to the whole chat. Shabbat Shalom to everybody who tuning in, who will tune in. Definitely take care of them older vehicles. Okay. Said, let me put this on the screen. Shalom Ishbakar. These newer version cars are purposely built to fail. It's called controlled obsolescence. The best vehicles about 96 and older that doesn't have the OBD2 computer. Indeed, thank you for that information. 96 and older, which you know they had it to where you could only drive what's called antique cars or cars with antique tags on the weekend. I seen something else during the research. I didn't go too far into it. But somewhere they're saying that it's illegal to drive these old school cars. And what they doing? They saying that, well, because of the, what's being emitted from the pipes in the back is messing with the air quality. Going into that, you know what I'm saying? So that ties into depopulation. It's one of the reasons they rolled it out. Don't forget what it said on them Georgia Guidestones. You see, directed energy weapons. Yes, they will use those. Got to stay 10-toed down, keeping the commandments of our Father. That's right, Dre P. Oh, man. See, that's it. All push button vehicles. Check this one out. Yep. If an EMP were to be exploded over the United States, all push button vehicles and vehicles over 1996, meaning older than 1996, manufactured after 1996, would not work. Notice how all disaster movies use either Winnebagos or older pickup trucks. Yeah, they put it in a movie to tell you what they're gonna do before they do it. Because in the way that things work is, it justifies that they told you at least, and you chose to do otherwise. This leading to, I'm glad that, thank you, Father. That's how Satan works. The accuser of the brethren, who is always a point. See. The accuser of the brethren want to be able to say, yeah, I'm able to say that, but it ain't like they didn't know. I showed it to them in a movie or a show. You sit there eating something, say, well, I ain't telling them. All they had to do is I put it on the, on the ingredient label that it was pork in it or whatever. That's just an example. China do got AI cities. COVID was a precursor. You know what I mean? Definitely a major key and component to get this thing going. Bro say air quality. Meanwhile, cigarette smoke, man, what? They worry about air quality, but they still selling cigarettes that they know cause cancer. Maserati Aki, man, Shalom too, son. So it's becoming more evidence that this same technology was around before the flood, maybe in a different form. This is very interesting. Shabbat Shalom, Ma. Shabbat Shalom, Pop. Yes, indeed, with the EMP, electric magnetic pulse, man, all this technology, this stuff wouldn't even work, man. Everything gonna go out. Yep, so I see y'all. That's pretty much. I done made it to the bottom of the list, man, of the comments. So thanks. All praise to the Most High. I pray we digest this and it resonate in our spirit, not just as for the moment right now, but we carry this with us, man. Keep this in mind. Discuss this with our families. Don't sit there and be idle, man. Until the next appointed hour, family. I say Shabbat Shalom. May the Most High keep us and our families, keep the commandments and the faith, always praying for the seal of the Holy Spirit to be in us to salvation, man. Shabbat Shalom. I love y'all. Shalom.